In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
What's that? I'm just in one of those moods today where I just feel like streaming. Essentially, it's raining, and it's really, really annoying that I can't go out for a walk. And look what I learnt today. How to make my face bigger. Yeah. Christ's sake. What did Boona say just a minute ago in the style of The Rock? Was it the people's champion? Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Sounds more like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Does anybody remember that? Stone Cold cheeseburgers. I want a Stone Cold cheeseburger. Anyone remember that? I would bring it up, but here's some funny news for you. That last stream we did, I lost £1 for me and Jason. How did I lose £1 for me and Jason? Because I played Claude Greengrass from 1992. Can't do that again. Flaming. How ridiculous. That's the kind of world we're living in now. I can't choose a clip from 1992, if not earlier, because ITV want that pound that we would have made from adverts. How dark is that? How dark is that? But yeah, welcome everybody. Yes, this is a chill stream, as I like to call them. All a bit of fun, really. It's just me messing about, having a laugh with you guys. Any questions that you want to talk about, by all means. Just basically, it's just me mucking about and talking anything but FPL. But obviously, I will be covering fantasy football if you do actually want to talk all things fantasy football. I'll be more than happy to. All the comments coming in. There's lots of people here. Lots of people here. Oh dear. Lax Praven with a swear word. Why did none of the moderators get rid of that? Harbour Boy, you're there. Why did you not get rid of that swear word? Terrible. Oh, Boona beats Sultan Saeed. Sultan Saeed impression. Alright, Jason. Nah, that doesn't quite work. Oh, God. Hello, Sultan. Boona, Cy Bellamy. Here we go. How does it go in the Hatebreed song? Here we mother... In fact, I wonder if I could do this. Here we motherfucker. Away with that. By muting myself. I think I did. If not, that's another pound lost. Not child friendly. Cy Bellamy saying get rid of Salah. Well, I read somewhere just a minute ago. I'll probably get to it in a minute. But someone said, "Oh, I bet Steve-O's got rid of Salah." Why would I get rid of Salah for? And I probably am anyway. So Kevin De Bruyne. Get Kevin De Bruyne in. Captaining versus Tottenham. Should I put some light on? Hold on a minute. Let's just see what the light looks like. The only thing I hate about having the light on is that I just get blinded by it. I feel like garbage afterwards. So let's just keep it on. Oh, the worst thing is, here's me in the big screen. Don't worry, we'll get the FPL team up in a minute. What does Andy always do? He chats shit. Oh. I'm not quick enough with the mute. He chats garbage before the stream, and then he does this, doesn't he? Then he does this. This is the magic. Oh, that's actually the wrong image. Hold on a minute. It's supposed to be this one. It's supposed to be that one. That's what everybody's. Oh, we're at home now. Why are the messages only coming through on this here? What's going on here? For pity's sake. But I wanted to just quickly show you this ridiculous thing that I just put up on Twitter. I won't get demonetized for this. That's all good. Because this is what it's going to be all about from now on. Let's get on with it. If no one's seen it, I've just uploaded this. If anybody knows XFM or any of the Ricky Gervais shows, you'll understand this. Here we go.
Ooh, chimpanzee, that you fucker! Ooh, chimpanzee, that you fucker! Ooh, chimpanzee, that you fucker! Ooh, chimpanzee, that you fucker!
I completely forgot I swore in that as well. That's another quid gone. Oh dear, that's another pound gone. Bye. Dear oh dear, dear oh dear. Oh, that's why the chat isn't coming up. You all want to see you guys speaking, don't you? Hold a minute. I forgot about that. Like I said, there we are. There's all your... Oh, and then it restarts again. Oh, that's a bit ridiculous. There we are. Who's this here? Who's just actually put that last comment there? Look at that. They just keep popping up. A match. A march. No double cheeseburger tonight. Oh, forget that. I was actually, funny enough, I was going to go to McDonald's, but for whatever bizarre reason, the specific drive-through that I go to was closed. No, not closed. It was so busy, like really busy. And I always park up in the specific car park to eat. And basically, I couldn't get in there. So I just thought, stuff this, I'm just going to drive back home. In some ways, I always say this, it's a sign from God. Because I didn't really need to have a McDonald's. I hadn't really exerted myself today or anything. And I didn't really feel like eating a McDonald's. It was almost one of those force feed... force feeding things, which isn't a good thing. But I've been watching the Strongmen, World's Strongest Man, via YouTube. Well, not specifically the events or anything, because they're not allowed to upload them. But I was watching some of that, and just like when you see some of the, oh, cheers, Harbour Boy. Just the 20 minutes later, you decide to delete the message. Flaming Nora. Nerd is saying here. Or as I keep doing the older nerd, play Susek instead of Salah next 2 game weeks. If Susek has got good fixtures, let's find out. Because to be honest, I bet you there are a lot more better players to have to bring in for Salah. Like, you're not going to lose that much money. You're not going to spend every single penny that Salah's worth on one or two other players. So let's just quickly find out. West Ham are against, I can't even, where are they? Oh, Sheffield United away. It's not exactly easy. And then Aston Villa at home. Forget it. No. And then what is it? Liverpool at home to Fulham. Oh, they're at home to Wolves. I'm just getting rid of Salah, full stop. He's gone. Unless by some miracle he's past fit. He's gone from my team personally. But we will find out. I mean, every injury and every person that's suffering from this illness, they all seem to be coming back fine. Funny that. Was it Chilwell? I didn't even realise England were playing tonight, to be honest. Again, I couldn't give the stuff about international duty, but I personally think that there's just too... I said it the other day, actually. These friendlies or whatever they're flaming are, forget it. Neil Thompson. Anybody get any more flags overnight? God knows. God knows. Denver saying, hi guys. Dale, if you're watching. Hi guys, how's it going? It's our former manager. On a wild card, wonder how many are gonna wild card or free hit this week. Too much to take a -20. Well, as Paulie stated the other day, actually, doing a minus hit this week isn't actually going to be that bad. So, I think that, I mean, I'm very, 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 very tempted to be doing a -12, -16. So, I personally, I am going to be taking a hit, but I don't know. Bilal saying, I just got home and Elite are streaming. I'd literally just hit the stream button. That is literally all I did. I was, funny enough, I was faffing about. Stupidly. I completely forgot that I had to log into or whatever. And essentially, I had to stop the stream and then restart it again. So, it would have literally just been... Lewis Kirkby, how we doing, lads? Have you done it yet, Lewis? Gone into work? Hello, ladies. Like Paddy McGuinness. Hello, ladies. I'm on Top Gear now. Forget Max and Paddy. Forget Take Me Out. I'm here on Top Gear. Thoughts on Ferran Torres? Well, he's playing as a false number 10, 9, 8, 7, whatever he is. Doing very well. By all accounts, I'd be looking at news on Aguero and maybe news on possibly Jesus starting. But for now, if you're playing a free hit, I don't know, Tottenham up next. Not exactly the greatest, whatchamacallit, a fixture to be bringing in Torres, to be honest with you. FPL Maestro saying Bruno in for Salah pending. Do you know what? I don't actually think Fernandes is that great an option this week. He's a great player and whatnot, but West Brom are no mugs. Man United at home this season have been absolutely terrible. What is it? It's their worst start at home for the last 58 years or whatever flaming statistic they've broken. And to be honest with you, I think Boona was onto something regarding Martial. As a cheeky punt, Rashford, if Rashford's fit and available. There were some people saying on the stream the other day with Jason that they're bringing in Rashford to triple captain him. What do they know that we don't? And there was a lad. Now that brings back a memory. There was a lad who said that he's going to be bringing back Rashford, triple captain him specifically this game. And he was something like 10 or 12,000th in the world. I could be completely mistaken, but Zayn Hussein's here. Every time I see Zayn Hussein's name, I just think of Zayn Nadir in the bill. That's all I think about. Funny enough, that's the prominent story on Drama Channel at the moment. Zayn Nadir. Yeah, Max is saying here that a minus 16 would set up my team nicely. That is actually my thought process, to take a hit, a really big hit, and just essentially just sort out my team, to be honest with you. I've already got a plan in place of what I'm going to do. I'm literally just waiting until Friday, but I didn't realise that it wasn't Friday deadline, which is a bit of a shame. I like the Friday deadlines. I do, Mr. Faulty. I do. Neil Thompson, did that really cost you £1 for showing a clip of Claude Greengrass from 1992? Well, it probably cost us more than that. It probably cost us £1.30. Essentially, whatever money we would make on that specific stream, which I can tell you now is going to be about £1, then basically that money, that £1 goes to ITV. We had it with Tom Jones. Do you remember when we were when Jason played that funny video of something that SMZ put together, and it had Tom Jones music? Why, oh, why Delilah? I think it was that song. I don't know. And yeah, basically, they said to us that due to copyright infringement, you are not allowed to take any money from that. So Tom Jones gets a whopping £1, deduct tax. So that's 80p has gone to Tom Jones, 80p has gone to ITV. Such a strange world we're living at the moment. I mean, you can't even, in theory, my basic understanding is if I was to start singing a song that's copyrighted, I believe that there's a chance that could be taken down as well. Honestly, it's absolutely madness. YouTube is crazy. Like, it is legitimately just nuts. And I believe they're doing it with Twitch as well. I read on someone that I follow, they were talking about this, that Twitch is going down the avenue of you're not allowed to do certain things, blah, blah, blah. It's just such BS, to be honest with you. Twisted Logic. God, I haven't seen that many for a while. What's Martial Matters going on? We may get banned if we keep talking. What are we talking about? Elite Bed saying, thought there was this isn't the preview show, by the way. There isn't a special guest either. The individual can't make it, unfortunately. Now, admittedly, I'm not going to lie. When I want to get a special guest on, now this is completely my fault, I'm not going to lie, but I don't give these people enough notice. I just basically email. I message someone on Twitter and I just say, would you like to be part of the show? Just having a laugh. And if they're available, they're available. If they're not, unfortunately, they can't make it. I fully appreciate the fact that it's complete short notice. But unfortunately, this individual couldn't join me. So I really cannot wait for him one day to join me. I think it'll be an absolute cracking stream, to be honest with you. But Grealish or Ziyech for the long term. It's got to be Grealish. It's got to be. It's got to be. Hello? What's this? Ha! Neil! You really didn't have to. Does anybody understand this then? Neil, Thompson and Thompson. Let's see if anybody gets that. Neil, you really didn't have to donate that. My goodness. Neil, Thompson and Thompson. If anybody gets that reference, I'll give you back £1.30. Cheers, Neil. Do just some work. Steve-O, that Brummie accent could do with some work. I haven't done a Brummie accent, have I? Alright. Alright, everybody. I know someone. Steve. Alright, Steve. Now, my brother is actually a very close friend of this individual, and they said that actually sounds exactly like the individual in question. Die. So, that's filth. I can't. Do you know what? I can't read it because I'm so far behind. The thing is, I've put the chat up to date, which is Jason told me to do that. Sounded spot on. There we are. Tintin Detectives. Hey, Harbour Boy, you won £1.30. Oh, actually, Nahal came in first, so you're actually copying. Nathan's just become a member. Nathan, thank you. What do you want a member for? We need to, actually, Nathan, that's a very good point. What was that? The Grealish accent? I don't even know what Grealish sounds like, to be completely blunt with you. Who's Steve-O captaining this week? So you can change it. Who am I captaining this week? Genuinely, if I bring in Kevin De Bruyne and Vardy, or Rashford, one of them three, that's what I'll be doing. Yeah, ironically, I've done okay with captaincies this year. So, I want to be looking into that, if I was you. But yeah, we've been, hello, Brew. Alright, lads. Are you playing Black Ops, Brew? To be fair, I have to say this. I don't play Black Ops late at night. I actually did an experiment the other day. Live streaming from my phone. Literally, it was on my bed. I've got a little stand, a microphone. It's like a microphone stand. It's like a customized microphone stand. I can clip my phone in, and I was just literally just put it on my bed, just recording me play Black Ops. But yeah, the experiment failed, to be honest with you. No one was watching. I think I had Padrag. Padrag, actually, he kindly watched for about 5 seconds. But I think most people just tuned in, saw what the hell is this, and turned off again. FPL Bruno saying both Rashford and Martial flagged, and Richarlison now too. If Martial is past fit, I'll bring him back in. I think if he's out, I may even punt on Cavani. Yes, good lad. It's a free hit. Free hit, do it. Chat and Steve-O MSK is saying, Chat and Steve-O, worth taking out Son and Size for Balbuena and Bruno. No. Does anybody know that reference? No. There's a place in Dorchester. Yeah, there's a place in Dorchester. What was he saying, Mr. Reed? Harbour Boy, I haven't done any transfer. Yes, wait until the last minute. Yep, I'm exactly the same as you. Wait until the last minute. Well, I've already done a transfer, but that was chill willing. But I was just saying to Nathan about the membership stuff. We did say in the moderator meeting we need to start upping our membership stuff. So what I can say is that it looks like we're probably going to be turning during the watch-alongs. So during the watch-alongs, during the first half and the second half, we're looking at putting on moderator chat, member chat only, and then at half time we open it up to the public, and then it goes back to member chat. That's a thought process coming in. Another thought process, if anybody has any members, Nathan, let me know. Any other members here, Brew, Harbour Boy. If you actually want me to do, I can do it. It's not difficult. I kind of suggested I may do it, but Steve O'Diary, and basically I'll just talk absolute garbage about my day, because there's always something that's happening. I mean, just a minute ago, I'm sure anybody that lives in London will appreciate this, or anybody that drives really, but basically I was driving up the road, and each side there's parked cars. This is basically up the road from where I live. There's parked cars. I'm driving forward, and what turned out to be a female, she was driving towards me, but she had space on her side, so her left-hand side, my right-hand side. There's a massive gap. All she had to do was pull in and then carry on driving. I just drive past her. Nah, I can't do that. Can't do it. No, she has to try and squeeze past me, so I get really angry, smash the horn. She looks at me, what's your effing problem? And I'm just like, well, why don't you just go in the right-hand lane? Just pull in. Where I live, it's absolutely ludicrous. The road rage I can get into. Just absolute morons round here. All think they're privileged. Yeah, Sai saying that Rashford's a good option this game. I completely agree. Last Praven saying he's triple captaining Grealish this week. I've come up with a theory regarding Aston Villa and Leeds, Man City, Liverpool. And I'm stating the blinking obvious here, but if you're looking at playing teams like Aston Villa and Leeds especially, if they play teams that like to play attacking football, jump on their assets. Like, I genuinely do think, and I'm being absolutely serious, if you've got Bamford and you're struggling with a potential captaincy choice, Bamford versus Arsenal, legitimately. Why not? Genuinely, I'm being absolutely serious. Normally, with my gut feelings, it normally comes through, and there's always somebody in the chat that says, do you remember the other day when Steve said about captaining Bamford, wish I'd listened to him? That's all I'm saying. Harbour Boy saying, interesting, you think Man United might stumble versus West Brom. They'll win. They should win. But they're no mugs, West Brom. Yes, they've been useless this season, but last couple of games, let's have a quick look. Last couple of games, they've, only lost 1-0 to Tottenham. Game before that, was it 0-0 versus us? No. They lost 2-0 to Fulham, okay, yeah, whatever. 1-1 v Brighton. Then it was 0-0 v us. I'm telling you, I don't think that West Brom are going to concede that many versus Man U. They'll lose. I predict, when I do the preview show, I'm predicting two goals conceded. 3 at a push. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway. That's what I'm personally thinking. But my predictions this season really have been terrible. Sean McClinchy. MSK. Do Safal and Bruno instead. So instead of Balbuena, bring in Safal. Or Kafal. Kafal. Oh, here we go. It's going to be a goal fest, says MSK. Or in his case, a good fest. Dre Zara's here. Hello, Dre. Hello, Dre. Hello. In fact, Dre, if you want to pop on just to say hello. Blues. FTW. Does that stand for the win? No, I still never understood that line, for the win, but anyway. Rashford for free or Bruno? Do you know what? I'd go Rashford, but Bruno's the safety. What about Watkins for captain? Against Brighton? Nah. FPL Alex is saying, do you play any other games on the PlayStation? Mate, I haven't played a PlayStation game for 4 years until literally just now. regarding Black Ops Cold War. So Black Ops Cold War is essentially the game that I just bought, and you know what? I absolutely love it. I really enjoy it. Really enjoy it. And I'm really glad that I've kind of amazed that I've got... Although ironically, when I was filming it on Twitter yesterday... Twitter, flaming hell. Let me just show you exactly the garbage. Probably get demonetised for this. Probably get demonetised. Oh, there's my ugly mug. Shall I just play that again, just quickly? For anybody that's tuning in right now, I'm just going to quickly play this again just to annoy people. Because it will annoy people. There'll be people out there, you can't be doing that.
Ooh, chimpanzee, that you fucker.
There we are. Monkey news. Once again, if you don't know any of that, then don't worry. But yeah, this is what I was just streaming yesterday. It's just ridiculous. It's amazing how quickly time flies by as well. That's what blows my mind, is the fact that time, it just flies by. And here we are. Let's turn up the volume. What's that going to sound like? Here we are. I love playing Kill Confirmed. Absolutely love playing Kill Confirmed at the moment. Really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. Oh, there I am. I'm dead there. Fantastic. Oh, superb. Hold on. I think I've sworn more in this stream when I shouldn't be than anything else. What was I going to show you on Twitter? I've actually forgotten what I was going to show you. Oh well. Doesn't matter now. Someone will remind me. I'm sure somebody will remind me. But, oh yeah, I was just going to show you that stream, wasn't I? But, yeah, someone was saying, Paulie was saying about a DVD. DVD, a Christmas DVD of me driving. Nah, mate. Nah. Alex, are you doing a live stream for the PS5 launch? I'm not getting it now. Basically, turns out that one of the vouchers that I've got won't be valid, which is a £20 voucher. So I've got a £20 voucher off all electrical goods, and it won't work. So, and then I find out you got to pre-order it online and everything. I get stuffed. I can't be bothered with it. I just want to pick it up in person. Pick up a penguin. Driving in London is a myth. What do you mean by that, Hat Champ? What do you mean? Because I'll tell you now, driving in London it's fine, but it all depends on what time you drive. The one thing I don't like about driving in London, and it really, really gets on my wig, is essentially just everybody is trying to make up one space for no reason, and the amount of dangerous manoeuvres that I have seen from whether it's a car, a van, a truck, it doesn't matter. The amount of dangerous manoeuvres I have seen people perform just to make up a space is disgusting. And it doesn't surprise me, the amount of accidents that happen. I'm not going to go into specific details, but the other day, outside of where I work, tragically, someone was killed. Yeah, ironically, what do they say about a lot of people that die in road accidents? That they're actually quite near a pedestrian crossing. Well, there's about 20 pedestrian crossings alone. And basically, this individual decided to walk across a very busy road and was killed. Okay, that's got nothing to do with car driving, but point we're standing is that that's now, I think, 3 deaths in the space of 4 months on this very busy, not specifically on this stretch of road, but there's in my specific area where I work, 3 deaths because people have just decided just to walk out in front of traffic. Just awful. Absolutely awful. But yeah, car drivers specifically always trying to make up a space. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. For that, it's absurd. Faris, hello. How is everybody doing? Ask them. Well, you are asking them. Oh, Hackshamp saying it just seems like too much hassle. Parking is always a mission, but depends where in London you're driving. To be fair, if you're willing to pay, that's Lewis Kirkby. All right, Lewis, if you want to come live on air and tell me about classes and settings, mate, carry on. This is what this stream's about. Just having a laugh. Just having a laugh. If you want to come live on air and talk about classes and settings on Call of Duty, I'll be more than happy to listen to what you have to say. But yeah, if you're willing to pay for parking, which is an absurd amount of money, and to put in perspective, I think it's something like for half an hour in some places, it's like, I mean, this is just an example, like £1.20 for just half an hour. That's outside of central London. So yeah, the driving central London is horrific. I'm lucky that I don't live centrally. I work centrally, but just kind of like on the border of it. So luckily, my shifts mean that I avoid peak times. But trust me, I've driven in peak times and it is horrible. It is absolutely horrid. Tech is saying London is a horrible city to travel in. Yes, it is. It truly is. It really is. But then again, some people don't know. For argument's sake, people don't know like the bus lanes. You can use the bus lanes in specific times. For instance, I think it's most areas it's 7 to 10 you can't use. So essentially between 10 and 4 you can use a bus lane, and then 10 in the evening till 7 in the morning you can use a bus lane. Not all of them, but the majority of them. But people don't know this, so that's why there's so much traffic blocked up, whereas people like me just go, bye. What's that? If that is an in-betweeners joke, let's just I'm going to deliberately put this big screen up. The big screen. Does anybody know this? Bye. Goodbye. Oh no, he does that, doesn't he? He does this. Bye. Goodbye. And Simon's like, all right, don't be a dick. And he walks off, and then along comes Neil. Neil, what a legend. Well, that's interesting. So the actual chat then just disappears and it will come back up again. How weird. Weird. Oh, I've driven in Cardiff loads of times, Techers. The thing is, when you drive at night, it's horrible. It's that's it. There we are, Paulie. Well done. Straight in there, mate. When Will's revising, he's drinking too much energy drinks. I think I am. What does he say at the end? What does he say at the end of this? How have I forgotten this? I know it inside out. They're in the pub. And, oh, come on, mate. You look like an absolute idiot. Let me just rephrase that. I shat myself in front of the whole school. I think I've embarrassed myself enough. Oh, yeah. This is to you. Whoever the poor sod was that recommended me Trailer Park Boys, clear off. Jesus, God almighty. I started watching the opening. This is episode 1, series 1. And I found out subsequently from a friend at work that basically this show has been going on for 10 years or something, like a multitude of years. And I put on episode 1, series 1. And within 3 minutes, I'm like, this is diabolical. Absolute garbage. With me, I think this probably applies to anybody really, but you need to have somebody that you can relate with. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. Even if the character's like a complete nobody within the series, you have to be able to relate with somebody. And I just was not grabbed by any of them. It's just terrible. So whoever you were, you're banned. You're banned from telling me anything to do with recommendations of comedies ever again. And all those people that recommended Ozark. God, rubbish. FPL Maestro, Doc Martin. The Thuku saying, Doc Martin. Awful. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. Happy Dude Geneva saying, there's a spot like that on Brixton Hill, complete nightmare. Do you want to expand on that? I always like finding that interesting. I mean, Sean McClintley saying, Dre, don't do it. Don't Captain's son. Don't Captain's son. This is what, because Dre's saying he's thinking of doing it for the 4th time in a row. Oh, there we are, Paulie. I think I may have failed. How did you get on? I think I may have failed, Neil. I was a bit distracted. Very good. Oh, really? Oh, public transport. The Hacksham saying the fact that you don't need a car in London is good, in my opinion. Public transport in the north, I'm assuming you mean the north of England rather than the North London, is shocking. To be honest with you, I kind of disagree. If you live central London, I completely concur with what you're saying. It's great. However, for me, who lives in Zone 4 and getting into Zone 2, it's not great. I don't specifically like it myself. In fact, one of the reasons why I actually started driving was actually because of the simple fact that the public transport system for where I live was getting so bad that I just couldn't deal with it anymore. So it takes me, or it took me when I used to go to work. So in the mornings, it would always take me, 40 to 45 minutes every day without fail, because 99 times out of 100, there'd be no issues in the morning. However, going back home, the quickest, and this is like everything, every connection perfect. So for me, my connection was this: bus, walk to tube station, bus, and then walk home for 10 minutes. That was my journey. And basically, the quickest, with all connections running perfectly, was 40 minutes I got home. And that was one time that happened. The average time I was getting home was between 50 and 55 minutes. And that's the quickest route home. Another route I could take, because what was happening on the central line was all these delays. Like every time I turned up at the specific tube station, it was always the destination I wanted to go to was always delayed. It drove me up the friggin' wall. So I was getting really frustrated. So I thought, you know what? Let's go the other way and use the District line or the Piccadilly line. So I did that, and it was taking me once again between 50 minutes to an hour to get home. And I'm just like, this is just absurd. Like, I live up the road, not literally, but I don't actually live that far away from where I work. But that's by car. By car, it only takes me 20 minutes to drive into work. 20 minutes. The longest it's ever taken me to drive to work is half an hour, and that's even during peak times as well. For me as well, I've saved so much more money. I'm actually saving £100 a month on travel. I was spending, I think it was it worked out to be £150, £160 a month on public transport. A month. £150, £160 a month. My car doesn't cost that. I'm spending approximately, including insurance, depending on how much petrol I've put in, about, let's just say, an average of £70 a month. It's not that much. So it's a nice 90, 100 quid, whatever, saving for me. And I just couldn't deal with it. And again, for whatever reason, the journey I had to take in the morning. So the first bus I could get to get me to work for. So I couldn't get to work for 5 o'clock, despite the fact that I told the manager I can't get here for 5. Yet you're still putting me here for 5. But it doesn't. The one thing I do like about living in London is the fact that you can. The management sympathise with people's circumstances because they all know what London public transport's like. So if you're late for work, pretty much you can just say, well, the tube was delayed or the buses are busy or whatever. And they're fine with it. I'll never forget, actually, the first time there was delays on the tube and I went into absolute meltdown mode. I was panicking. So when I first started, and I was like, oh my God, and I phoned up the management and everything, and I was thinking, oh, here we go, they're going to complain that I'm late and I'm going to get into trouble, all that nonsense. And they just said on the phone, it's fine, Steve-o, just get here when you can. These things happen. And that was the first learning curve that I had when it comes to public transport. Not that I use that as an excuse, but anyway, the point being is that my normal journey, it would be get the 4:35 bus that would get me to the nearest tube station for me that was open at that time of the morning, to then get the 10, I think it was the 10 to 5 tube that took me to the nearest station to where I work. And it would always, the quickest I could get to that tube station where I worked was 9 minutes past 5. And it would only take 3 or 4 minutes to get me to work. So I'd always clock in at, say, 14 minutes past 5. However, once again, the thing that broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back for me, was for whatever strange reason, every day I was turning up to the tube station at like 4:45 in the morning. And every day there was a delay with the tube and it was driving me up the wall. So I had to get the night bus to get to where I worked and all this nonsense. And it just, for anybody that doesn't live in London, I can tell you now, it just drives you up the effing wall. It really does. Public transport, if you live outside of central London, can be an absolute pain in the backside. Obviously, there are exceptions. But for me, because I live so close to where I worked as well, specifically by car, I just thought, forget it. I'm going to get a car. And do you know what? Me getting a car was the best thing I ever did. I so wish I got a car sooner when I decided to move to London 3 years ago now. So I've only been living in London for 3 years. And basically, if I had just simply have had a car when I first moved up here, then hey presto, everything would have been cool. But instead, for 2 years, I've only been driving my car for a year. So for 2 years, I had to deal with just the nightmares of getting to the gym and by a bus. Just like, even like, I'm sure people can relate with this, like literally running to get a bus. Because if you miss that one bus, you may not see one. Like the gym that which I used to slag off, I still do, to be honest with you. It's just absolutely appalling. Welcome to Elite FPL Travel with your host, Steve. Trust me, I actually, talking of that, actually, Paulie, I sent in a complaint. So basically on Twitter, right, I decided I was so sick to death of the fact that this bus that took me from the gym to home was so packed at certain times. In fact, it was packed every single day. It was disgusting the way they treated us. And I thought to myself, why just use a double-decker? Why does it have to be a single-decker for? And then one day, I saw a double-decker at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just like, I don't believe it. I'm going to have to film this. I'm going to actually have to film this and put up on Twitter a poxy post about the fact that, my goodness, they finally decided to do something about these compact buses and actually use a double-decker. This is incredible. So I just took a picture, tagged TFL in it, and then they actually got back to me. I think they either private messaged me or they said it as a comment. They probably said it as a comment. And they just basically said, thank you for the feedback. We really do appreciate it. Blah, 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 blah. If you can just get in contact with us via the official website and send us an email about your concerns, and we'll see if we can action it or something. And I thought, this can't be right. Well, guess what? Surprise, surprise. The website that they sent me to didn't work. Well, it did work, but the email itself, I've still got the email, would you believe, on my laptop, in my inbox, I believe. I think I have anyway. And essentially, you couldn't actually email the people themselves because it said that the email didn't exist. It's just like, but yeah, the nightmares I would have leaving the gym, missing, because I would use, there's an app called City Mapper. So I had a City Mapper app, which told me when the next bus was. And then I'd also have, this is an FPL channel, by the way. TFPL. See what I've done there? Shove that in the complaints. TFPL. So, yeah, I would use City Mapper, which was an app which told you exactly when the next bus was coming. But then I'd also have a website on my phone which tracked the buses. So I'd know exactly. So I'd look at City Mapper and it would say the next bus is in 10 minutes. Right. Look on another website and see that specific bus. But sometimes they didn't. Sometimes it didn't work out that much. So occasionally I'd miss the bus, and I'm just like, so when's the next bus? It's 20 minutes away, and you'd have to. It was just mental, working out gym sessions around the bus times and everything. And I'm not walking. I mean, it's like a 30-minute walk to my closest gym. 30-minute walk. It's not a particularly pleasant walk either, to be honest with you. But yeah, the whole point of this pointless story, this pointless anecdote, is yes, I wish I flaming got a card friggin' Schooner. And that's Scott Parker. Got to start winning. Got to start winning. Elite Bed saying, you've seen American Pie, arguably the funniest film ever. Right, so number 1, stunning. Number 2, stunning. Number 3, it's okay. It's okay, it does the job. Then all the side ones are just meh, rubbish, whatever. But American Pie Reunion, I would argue, is the best one. I think that is superb. I think that the reunion one, because it interlinks everything together perfectly, I think that's a piece of genius. Hello, Ashkay. FPL Maestro, do you think Burnley will start winning games, Steve? Yes. The question is when. So, I can't even think who we got this week. Who have we got? You'll be able to tell me before. Crystal Palace. Well, we're definitely... By the way, Zaha, genuinely, Zaha as a cheeky punt, captaincy, Monday evening football, he always does well against us. I don't know the exact history, but Zaha versus us always does well. So, if you're struggling with the captaincy, I've said Bamford, Vardy. Now I'm saying Zaha, genuinely. But we never beat Crystal. They always beat us 2-0 at our place. Always seems to be the way. It's very, very peculiar, the games versus Crystal Palace for us. And then let's just see, when do I predict our next win? Or a win of the season? Well, Man City, I've already said that's 4 or 5-0. Maybe even 6-0. Aguero captain. Everton. Do you know what? Got a decent record versus Everton. To be fair, we have actually got a decent record versus Everton. But I think that's away from home, so there's another loss. Arsenal, never beat Arsenal at their place. In fact, that's always like 2 or 3-0 at the Emirates. At the Emirates is normally 2 or 3-0. Aston Villa versus Burnley. Do you know what? I think we may actually get a point there. So there's not a win. That's a point. Burnley versus Wolves. We've got a decent record versus Wolves. So do you know what? Game week 14. There we are, Maestro. Get it in your diary. Game week 14 is when we are going to get our first win of the season. Hacksham saying, as a country, we're so far behind on transport. It's a joke. Absolutely. And all this money is down the drain on... Yeah. Something that we can't talk about. Even Tobias. Paulie is throwing in his 2 cents. American Pie reunion, then number 2, then number 1. All the rest are pointless. Yeah, agreed. I agree with that. Completely agree with them. Danny McDonald. How many hits will Jason be on this week? He's only going to take a -8. End of discussion. If I bring up Jason's team, I can prove it to you that he doesn't. Well, if I'm advising him, which he doesn't need to take my advice whatsoever. But if I'm advising Jason on what to do this week, it's quite simply just you've done the -8, done, leave it. He doesn't need to do any more hits. So because he's got a playing bench, so Walker Peters can come on for Chilwell if he doesn't play, but Chilwell's going to play, so he's fine. So Chilwell's fine. Salah, he's got Bamford to come on. I can't actually bring up, or can I? No, I can't. There's no way I can put up the team that Jason had, but basically, as you know, he did the -8. That isn't his team there. He's got in Fernandes for Sterling, wasn't it? Fernandes for Sterling he brought in. He got rid of Kane for Calvert-Lewin. I think he got rid of Adams for Watkins, is that right? But he's benching Bamford or something. But essentially the point being is that Bamford and Kyle Walker... Yeah, Kyle Walker-Peters. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? I keep forgetting his name. Is it right? Is that his name, Kyle Walker-Peters? Is that his name, Kyle Walker-Peters? Help me. But essentially, he'll be coming on for whoever, and Jason doesn't need to do any more hits. If he does, then fair enough. But Nathan is saying here has to be Calvert-Lewin for captain versus Fulham. Wait on the Richarlison news. Wait on the Richarlison news. Is all I will say. If he's starting, then Cinnamon saying, is Salah confirmed out this week? Yeah, he's not playing. Yeah, I can't see him playing. He can't even leave his own country. So, yeah, my understanding is, he definitely won't be playing. No. Yeah, you can take my word for that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But yeah, he's out. I'd wait till Friday. Wait till the press conference. You don't need to sell him. He's not going to go down in price again, I don't think. Happy to Geneva. There's a pedestrian crossing where they've got those ridiculous pedestrian lights on the side versus opposite. My sister now dials 999 before looking out the window. It's at least once every 2 weeks. Jesus. It is messed up. Sai saying, great news, gravy is free. Great news, Steve-O. Gravy is free from KFC until Christmas. Who eats Christmas? Who eats Christmas? Who eats KFC, sorry. Badman Tune saying, can't you get Jason to set up a green screen? He's got all the kit. We discussed it on a moderator chat. Essentially, I don't have enough room in this room. I don't have enough room in this room to set up a green screen. I've got no room in this building whatsoever. And there's a chance. What do you want me on green screen for? What am I going to be on? Very good, Paulie. Quoting the in-betweeners there. Is that Jay? Nobody brings a bag of beep to the pub. Your dad does. Oh, does he? Yeah. Your mum. Thomas Wheeler saying, I'm waiting for the press conferences, but I heard Thiago Silva might not play this weekend. Really? Why not? Why not? Nigel Sam regarding Salah, he's flagged till 28th of November. That is correct. Yes. In fact, let's bring it up. View information. There it is. I don't even think it comes up on screen. No, it doesn't. Waste of time. Absolute waste of time. But the point being, it says 28th of November is when he's flagged till. So I'm personally probably just bringing in Kevin De Bruyne for Salah, but we'll find out Friday. When is Friday anyway? What's today? Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday today, isn't it? Yes, Wednesday today. Karma Baby saying, I constantly get confused between Walker Peters and Ward Prowse, both WPs and all these double barrels. Yeah. I just get confused between Kyle Walker and Kyle Walker Peters. They are related, I believe. That's what Boona said the other day. Ashkai saying, I'm going for Bruno captain. Bruno captain against West Brom. I think he'll be getting points from set pieces only. If anything. That's what I think. Cheers, Dread. Dread's got some breaking news. I'll reveal that in a minute. Gravy Dave saying, talking of gravy, JC saying, KFC gravy is number one. Get stuffed. Disgusting. Disgusting. If anybody remembers the reason why I'm saying it like that, that's a quid. G'day, Steve-O. I'm sorry, mate. I don't reveal that information, but hello, Amat. Yeah, Gravy Dave saying, I'm tempted to captain Jota if Salah is out. Jota? Go for it. Do it. What about Mane? Straight swap, Mane in. There you go, but I've got some breaking news. Is this true, Dread? It's true, this is breaking news. Hey, Prasantha. According to Dread, in fact, let's bring it up on the screen. I'm sure I can. According to Dread, apparently double Big Macs are coming out. Really? Let's see. McDonald's. Double Big Macs are coming out. Is that true? There's got to be an advert for it. Probably demonetised and have to send that £1.30 to I think you're lying, Dread. Maybe I should type it on the thing. Double Big Macs. Oh, here we are. What's this? McDonald's have announced it will introduce a line of plant-based meat alternative. I don't care. All I care about is double Big Macs. Oh, here we are. You are right. Okay. Okay. Well, Dread. There we are. Hello. Hello. The thing is, what I don't understand. Let's get this is the other day, Dread, when you got serious, you said this on the Sunday supplement with Llama. You went, let's get serious, yeah. Hello, Tips. Let's get serious for a minute, yeah. And when I heard that, I was just like, okay, calm down, Dread. We're just having a bit of fun here. Breathe. Thiago may not play because Brazil play very close to when Chelsea play. Right, again. Well, obviously Chelsea are playing the lunchtime kickoff. The lunchtime kickoff on Saturday. What a load of nonsense that is. Versus Newcastle. Get stuffed. Ridiculous. It does look banging. It does look banging, Tips, and I will buy it. If it's available in the local McDonald's that I go to. Hello, what's going on here? Beeping for that's in fact Steve, my housemate, was telling me that somebody that he knew left London and they did this massive post on Facebook. Yeah. Does anybody even use Facebook anymore? For crying out loud. Anyhow, put up a post on Facebook and it was essentially just saying what they hated about living in London, blah blah blah, and what they don't miss, what they do miss, etc., etc. And the one thing that stood out to me was, do you know the best thing about not living in London anymore? I don't hear sirens. No sirens. It's absolutely fantastic. When I go back home, that's the one thing I don't hear. It's very rare to hear sirens. Very rare. Dread FPL is desperate for this. FPL Tips saying, get me a double Whopper, a double Big Mac while I'm there. Stuff you. I'll be eating it myself. And Matt's saying it'd probably be cheaper to buy 2 Big Macs together. No, they don't do that. I'm telling you now, they don't. No, they cleverly make it cheaper. They do. They do make it actually cheap. The thing with Big Macs though, yeah, Tips saying that being said, a siren just, of course it did. What was I even talking about? McDonald's, Big Macs. Yeah, I don't really like Big Macs, to be honest. Although I must say, is it the mayonnaise sauce that they put with? How many slices of meat in a double Big Mac? The answer's 0. It ain't meat. Christ almighty, it's just artificial garbage. Basically. But then, FPL Tips is here. What do you think on Tips? What do you think on triple Chelsea defence? That's my plan. That's the plan. I like I say, I'm just waiting on the news, but if the news is good, I can just do a -8 and just do the simplicity of where's his face? KDB. These are my basic moves that I'm considering, and I think I've done the maths. I did the maths. My predictions for what these particular players will get over the next 4 game weeks, and to be honest, these new players came out on top quite well. But I'd definitely be getting De Bruyne in. Get him in. And I'd probably captain De Bruyne against Tottenham. And then bring in Reece James. There he is. There we are. Done. Happy days. There'd be my 2. But if all these players are confirmed fit, like Robertson, and I really don't need to make these moves. I could be going into this hit free. I know Dread, you've taken a -12. But in the Discord, by any chance? God, really? Wow. Look at this, everybody. Why is that so dark for? Look at this. That's incredible. Hold on a minute. Let's just put this on screen right now. God. So Gulag. The Gulag. If you're a Warzone fan, you'll know that. So Gulag here, look at that for a team. He says, this is what he says. So, hey Steve, I was in the stream a few weeks back, was at 10,000th, now I'm 61k with this team. I've got one free transfer. Obviously, what would you do? Chilwell, he's going to be okay. Robertson, he's going to be okay. So really, it's down to Sterling's going to be fine. He's not been past fit, but I've read on the grapevine that he'll be fine. It's just really just Salah. It's just a case of you either cleverly bring in a defensive coverage of Fernandes or Rashford. Probably Fernandes, especially at your rank. You're going to be wanting defensive coverage, so I'd probably just do the safety option of Fernandes in. I wouldn't be getting rid of I wouldn't be allowing Kilman to come in. For Salah. No, I'd be getting rid of Gulag if you're watching this on the replay, or even if you're watching live now. You never know. I'd just do Salah to Fernandes, and that'd be it from my point of view. Shano saying not interested in Bruno, Steve-O. Nah, I really don't think. Whatchamacallit, West Brom are going to get battered. I really don't think that. FPL Tip saying triple Chelsea is great, but the fixtures aren't good enough for it afterwards for the long term. Better options. I love Cresswell, such a good option, so I'd go 2 and Cresswell. I think I'd go 4-4-2 Tips. That's my thought process. A 4-4-2. Click on the bench, because I just think that there's a lot of, you'll know this anyway, but there's a lot of players, defensive wise. I mean, even your guys, the Chelsea boys, they're all like top goal scorers. It's ridiculous. They're all just scoring for fun. So I am. I think triple Chelsea would be great. Nigel Sam saying 1 goal is all that's needed to spoil a triple up defence. Say that. Look at last week. Chilwell got a goal. Reece James got something as well, didn't he? It's like Firetog had with triple Liverpool defence, but he was a season too far ahead. Dan, come live on air. Genuinely, come live on air right now. You've seen the title of the stream. Badman Tunes saying Badman Tunes is saying speculate to accumulate, Steve. It's fantasy. Do some hits. Grekler, hello. Dan's just voice messaged me back. Eh? Do we dare play Dan's message live on air? The answer's no. Because I know what's going to be said on it. That would be funny. A tip saying I back Cresswell over a third Chelsea, if that makes sense. No, that does make sense. What the hell was that all about? Germany last night. Losing 6-0. It's madness. Faris is asking a very interesting question. The reality is, Faris is just basically saying, "Here, Danny boy, look at the stream." Dan's saying, "When's your next impression stream?" Well, what impression do you want me to do now? I'll do it. I'll do an impression right now. Faris saying he's really enjoying these streams. They're relaxing. They're a great listen when I'm studying. Basically, the reality is that I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're what people want. Essentially, if you're listening back on the replay, if you're listening right now, if you're enjoying them, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section once this video ends, if you like them. It wouldn't be a daily basis, Christ almighty. In fact, Dan, here's an impression for you. Here's a fantastic impression for you. So keep watching the screen, or just listen in on the screen, and listen to my impression of... Ooh, whoops. Wrong one. I've already done this a billion times, so I'm just going to play it again, just to annoy people. Here we go.
Ooh, chimpanzee, that you fucker! 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 Ooh.
And do you know what, Dan? Danny boy. What's that off? Oh, Danny boy. Tips, by all means, jump on. What was I going to say? I actually did that impression after I messaged you. There we are. That's it.
Ooh, chimpanzee, that you monkey news.
That's all it is. Hoping Bellerin starts tonight. Want to see what... Who? Bellingham? Who the hell's Bellingham? Steve, what do you think about form versus fixtures? Would you risk getting City players? What did that? Andy made a very, very, very good point yesterday, or whatever day it was. He said that, look, fixtures breed form. So basically, if a player's not doing that well, but then up come a load of decent fixtures, then guess what? They'll get good form. So just for argument's sake, like you just mentioned Man City players, Kevin De Bruyne, okay, up against Tottenham, not the greatest fixture. However, we know how well he performs versus the top teams. But the point being is that if, for argument's sake, you got Calvert-Lewin in your team, you're thinking of getting rid, well, admittedly, his form's not been amazing, but look at these fixtures that he's got up next. You can't look past it. And Fulham, Leeds, Burnley. It's goals, goals, goals. Those fixtures should breed form, so to speak. Let's get someone else. Go on air. Let's bring on Tips. Let's see what he has to say about this. Hello, Harry. Or as James likes to say on Planet FPL. Hello, mate. Basically, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Good. What do you think on this whole form versus fixtures? Do you agree that fixtures breed form?
To some extent, I think it depends who you're looking at. For me, if it's like a premium asset, then it's form over fixture. But for a cheap player who you're then going to rotate more, it's then fixture first.
Got a Matt here saying you're a Chelsea fan. The best Chelsea triple up. Werner, Chilwell, Ziyech. What do you think?
Well, it's Ziyech 100%, and it's Werner. No, and it's Chilwell 100%. I still don't think that Werner is worth the 9.5.
Why do you say that?
Because if you watch us, yes, he's involved, but he often scores the sort of third or fourth goal. And I don't see us between now and Christmas in the fixtures we've got scoring. I know we can score goals, but I don't see us battering teams 4-1, 3-0 like we have done. So he hasn't been the player that's got us the first goal when the game's tight. He needs space in games, which you get when you're 3-0 up, but you don't get when it's 0-0.
What are you talking of games specifically this week? I had somebody saying about they're going to be captaining Ziyech this week versus Newcastle. How are you expecting that specific fixture to go?
I mean, I don't think Ziyech is a bad captain because I think this week's a pretty tough captaincy call on pretty much anyone, especially with Salah now being out as well. I don't think there's a clear-cut captain pretty much anywhere. I think we'll need someone like Ziyech to help cut them up. But looking at his stats, he's not likely to score. So I think people need to realise that he's unlikely to get many goals. He'll pick up a lot of assists, but then do you want to captain someone who also has goal threat? Because if someone gets one assist, then okay, it's unlikely that's going to be enough for you to captain them.
Thing here, Matt saying Werner up front when Havertz comes back is going to be a different story. Your thoughts on Havertz now going to be allowing when he's back to allow Werner to
Yeah.
express himself and start scoring.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't see Werner going back up top. I don't see Havertz being the factor. I see Pulisic being the factor there. And Pulisic is still out for a few more weeks. Probably won't be back until the Leeds game or after. So you're bringing in Werner playing out wide for another 3 weeks. Abraham's played well. Abraham's done nothing to get himself dropped.
There's lots of talk, obviously, this week about various injuries and the certain,
Yeah.
you know what, going round at the moment. How has it affected your team, and have you done anything about it?
I have just put it in the team screenshot. You can look at all of my many flags that I have on my team. So I got currently I technically have 6 flags. One of which is Chilwell, who I'm hoping is in the squad tonight but doesn't start, and another one is Robertson. Again, I'm hoping that he's fine. I'm actually planning on rolling my free transfer. Well, it depends how long Salah's out for. If Salah's out, I'm going to bring in Ziyech for him. If he's out for 2 weeks,
really?
that is, and we get an indication on that, because then I can bring him back in because I'm looking to sell Son anyway. So it's just, in a couple of weeks, I'd probably bring him back in for Son.
You sure you posted it in the screenshots? There's nothing there.
I posted it
In the live team screens, the live stream.
I'll put it. Yeah, I'll put it in again.
Do it again, since we can bring it up then. But I thought Chilwell, fine. He's back in training today or some nonsense like that.
Yeah, from what I've heard, he's should be back in training. It's not as certain. It'll be interesting to see if he's in the squad tonight for Chelsea. I don't expect him to start, but if he can make the bench, that would be a nice indication. I expect him to play this weekend, from what I've heard.
Yeah, that's well, I'm like you. I stick to the grapevine, so to speak, seeing various people on Twitter and everything saying whatnot. But Harbour Boy making the point here. He's saying that Bruno, Ziyech, Calvert-Lewin, Grealish, all likely captain options this week. Sai saying surely Fernandes is the standout captaincy for this week. You make the point that there are many different captaincy options available. I've made the point about Vardy, maybe even a massive punt in Bamford. What are you thinking from your own point of view? Because you're doing really well this year, aren't you?
So I'm about 250k now. I think that's right. There are a lot of captaincy options, but there's no one that stands out that I look at and I think I have to captain them. Currently, with Salah out, it's going to be on Rashford. But I do question how hard West Brom will be to break down. I think people thinking that Fernandes is a set and forget captaincy. They need to go and watch the highlights of the West Brom Spurs game. How good West Brom were defensively. I think he's a good captaincy option because he can get a penalty and it's a 10-pointer, right? But I don't think it's as clear cut as people are making out.
We had last week some people on the show suggesting that they were going to triple captain Rashford. What do you think on those people's opinions? And some of them were. I think one guy was something like in the top 50,000. I can't remember now, and he was adamant on triple captaining Rashford versus West Brom.
I don't want to put 50p in the jar, but I think that's not a very clever idea.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people that have triple captained various single game week players. Either Kane last week, Son the week before that, and they just completely failed. Do you think for these people, obviously there was quote unquote logic to this decision making? Do you still stand firm that nope, stick to double game weeks for the usage of chips?
I think there's logic to it. I can understand why people did it. For example, Spurs at home to away at West Brom, great. But I will not be using my triple captain or my bench boost outside of a double game week. I can give you my word on that, because Kane or someone like that, you give them one fixture, okay, yeah, they might blank, or Son, they might blank in one, but they're unlikely to do it if you've got 2 games. And even if they blank in both games, you're still getting a lot more points. I understand why people do it, and if it comes off, it looks great. But when it then gets to the double game week in, game week 30, and you don't have it, and everyone's getting, 10 points, triple to 30, it is, if you're going to play the long game, it is just the way to do it.
Dan's saying, what are people basing these triple captaincies on? I'm assuming you mean why have they put these triple captaincies on the single game weeks? It's essentially because Tottenham played West Brom last week, and they played Burnley, wasn't it, the week before?
Yeah.
So it was just weak opposition, Dan. That's why they used the triple captaincy there. But if it pays off, it pays off. In these specific cases, it didn't because they were playing two tough oppositions. I mean, Bilal making the point. Avoid Fernandes as captain. Why would you trust United? As a fan, I expect to struggle versus West Brom. Maybe 2-0, 2-1. They've not been great, have they, at Old Trafford? Have they, Tips?
No. The thing is, it could be 3-0 or 0-0, and neither result would surprise any of us. This is the problem.
It's been admittedly, you are 250k. I mean, what do you put the fact that you're so highly ranked down to?
So one thing I did last season that I've not done this year, I mean, a lot of it, I've got to be honest, is luck. I played my wild card and got both Kane and Son in, and okay, that went great. I've had Lamptey come off the bench when he got his 9-pointer. And there's little things like that. So I can't say it's all skill. I've got to be honest with that. But I haven't captained ridiculous players, and I don't plan on. Someone like this week, okay, it's slightly different, but you've got players in your team who will be what I like to say, they're differential enough. And I'm like, they let them score the points not being my captain, and they'll tick along nicely throughout the season and give me slow gains. At this point in the season, I don't need to captain a differential to make a big jump. It just doesn't need. You can make big jumps by captaining Kane. It still gives you a big jump. I just don't think I need to move my captain off. It will be in my team coming up: Salah, Kane, and De Bruyne. I'll have those three, and I will not captain anyone outside of them. Maybe this week because Salah's injured, and I don't want to captain a Spurs asset against City. But apart from that, it might sound boring, but it just ticks along, and in the long run, you're probably going to come off best doing that.
I said to, I was saying to Gulag earlier when I was just talking about his team earlier. I was saying that a defensive move this week would be, if you're highly ranked, like in his case, he's 61,000th. A defensive move would be someone like bringing in Fernandes for Salah. You said you were probably going to be doing that, didn't you?
No, I'm going to go Ziyech.
Oh, yes, sorry, Ziyech. Sorry, my apologies. But
that's all right.
Ziyech versus Newcastle, though, it's not that much of a favourable fixture, no?
Yeah, but I suppose it's slightly longer term than that, because then next week it gives me money in the bank to do Son up to De Bruyne. Whereas if I did Salah to Bruno, I don't think I'd have enough money in the bank. I mean, I can check that, but yeah, I think that's part of the reason I need the money in the bank to do Son to De Bruyne next week.
Will it concern you that you won't have Salah for the following weeks whenever they play? Well, I saw it was playing Wolves or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's then Wolves, but then my plan will be is a downgrade on Robertson and then an upgrade on Rashford. Probably after Southampton will give me Salah back.
But Bilal, for some strange reason, is saying here, Ziyech is a great player, but from an FPL perspective, I expect him to dry up very soon. What have you got to say on that, considering the last 2 game weeks he's produced double-digit hauls?
I mean, I don't expect it to be quite producing double-digit hauls, but I expect him to be. He seems like a mini version of De Bruyne the season he was just getting assists. He just is the main creator for us. He does it on international duty as well. The balls he puts into the box and the passes he makes, he creates enough. He's something like top over the past 4 game weeks for big chances created, and he's only started half the games. He just creates so many chances that I think he'll just tick along well.
And Matt's saying here that Newcastle's defence is absolutely atrocious, essentially, and they're going to be the whipping boys for next 3 games. How many players of theirs have they got out then?
Well, so I put a tweet up on this about a week ago, and it was basically, if you look at some stats, if you look on, I think it was big chances conceded, they're the worst defence in the league. If you look on like shots on target conceded, they're the best defence in the league. And if you look on goals conceded, they sit in the middle. So you can say Newcastle are a dreadful defence. It just depends what stat you look at. You can look at some and make the argument that they're one of the best and they've just been unlucky. So I I do think they're not one of the best, but again, we know what they can do when they are strong defensively.
Moving away from FPL, you were just joking around saying like getting a Big Mac. What is your favourite fast food restaurant?
Fast food, it has to be McDonald's.
Tell us
sure.
why.
I don't have one near me, so I don't get it very often. But for
What do you
sure,
mean? Hold on a minute. What do you mean you don't have a? You live in London. I mean, there's a McDonald's on every street corner. What do you mean you don't have one?
it's not as close to me as you think it is. It's about a 15-20 minute walk.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay. What is it? A drive-through or an actual restaurant?
It is an actual restaurant.
Right. Okay. Okay. It's worth the walk though. Burn off the calories afterwards.
Yeah, it is true, but yeah, I can't go until the evening. I'd normally go for my lunch, but I don't get enough lunch breaks, so unfortunately I can't.
What would be your meal of choice from McDonald's?
It would be a chicken legend meal, cool mayo, or a Big Mac, depending how I'm feeling. One of those two. Probably a Coke and a cream egg McFlurry when they're on. Those things are probably the best things are going. Cream egg McFlurry, if anyone has not tried one, when it gets to Easter, make sure you have one.
That is probably the best thing you're going to say all evening. and are you a Netflix man, a TV fan, whatever?
I watch drivel on TV. I'm the type of person, if there's like a series on telly, like I watch I'm a Celeb at the moment, anything like that that's on. Occasionally things on Netflix I have watched in the past. I've started watching Prison Break again.
Oh, Dan, you'll be loving that, mate.
Oh, that's
when you
class.
say watching it again, what you've watched it before and now you just decide to rewatch it?
Yeah, I watched it a long time ago, probably 3 years ago. So I've now, like, in my lunch breaks when I've got nothing to do, working from home, I put an episode on.
Yeah. Oh, is that what you're doing now? You're during this lockdown, you're having to work from home.
Yeah, I haven't been in the office in 8 months.
How do you find that?
It's all right, actually. It's a bit weird. Like, it'd be nice to go in and see people, but from like an FPL content perspective, it makes life easier because I can do stuff during the day. But from a personal aspect, I'd love to go back in the office now. I miss being in.
Are you like FPL Dave on full pay, or are you on 80%?
I'm on full, but I am working full time as if I was still at work.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Dan's here saying, I love a good old Prison Break. I don't know if this means anything to you. I'm assuming it will. Season 4 is where it goes a bit nuts.
Yeah, so season 3 is the one in Cuba or Mexico, the one in South America, in that prison. That is the best season. For sure, that prison is the best. He'll know what I mean.
Well, I'm assuming Podner is saying, yeah, Cuba. There seems to be some kind of argument going on here about various locations in the world. Jason's here, Ethan Jace. I just felt like streaming, mate. Literally, when I sent you that video, Jace, I just thought, I'm streaming. Kevlar, good evening. Good evening. I know you said it to Jason the other day, but in all seriousness, can you elaborate on what you meant? I don't specifically mean just this stream, but you said to Jace, where's the effect of I love these evening streams or afternoon streams or whatever it was, they're just relaxing or something. Can you just elaborate on that, whether it's ours or someone else's? Why do you find it relaxing? Because I'll give you my example. Like whenever Andy or Davey FPL or James are streaming live, if I ever get the opportunity to listen to them live, I just think it's absolutely fantastic just walking and listening to a live stream. I mean, why did you make the comment to Jason? I wanted you to elaborate on it, to be honest with you. It's always interesting. Well,
I suppose, working from home, it's nice to have anything on in the background, that's especially FPL, just to listen to what people think. And it is great because everyone, especially you guys, you're not afraid to say what you think and you have your very personal opinions, which is nice. There are people, who say what they think they need to say, and it is just you guys just chat as well. Just chat to people in the Chilwell on the bench. That's what we love to see. Paulie's just said Chilwell's on the bench. Sorry, just to
All right, no,
jump in
we'll talk
there.
about that in a second.
But yeah, it's just you guys chat away, which is, when I work at home, I don't, I talk to people on calls at work, but I don't have just like chatting with mates about football. So it's nice to have that in the background.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I say, these specifically from my point of view, I just enjoy just essentially just chatting absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
I really don't. Oh, hold on a minute here. I'm gonna have to mute that. No, that's fine. Is that playing? So basically, as you've just alluded to, there is the England team news. Are you interested in England team news tips? Sorry, in international football.
No, not really. I'm interested to see for my FPL team, but that's about it.
Well, yeah,
on the bench is all I care about.
That's the thing. You've just said that. So it's Pickford, Trippier, Walker, Dyer, Maguire, and you've got Saka, Rice, Mount, Grealish, Foden, and then Kane up top. Chilwell on the bench. So that's great news for us that own Chilwell, knowing that he's all fit. And we'd like to think that he'll play for Chelsea. To be honest with you, who are they playing tonight? Iceland. Yeah, I'm just like you. I just have no interest in international football. So I know Dan's going to be screaming at the.
A funny story for you. So do you remember when England lost to Iceland in the Euros about 3 years ago?
And they was got that 2-1, wasn't it, in the World Cup or Euros or whatever it was?
I think it was in the Euros. Yeah, I had tickets to the match after it in Paris, which would have been England-France in the semis or the quarters of that tournament, and then England lost to Iceland for me not to be able to see that match. I mean,
it's so flaming typical of like things like that. It's like me and my brother were talking about betting and everything. And for instance, I said it on the stream the other day, but he had I don't know if you bet or not, but basically he had this incident where for the first time ever he decided to cash out at like £4. If he had just stayed with the bet, he would have won. I think it was like £160. But he decided for the first time. It's just so typical of things here. Bilal making a point. Sack Southgate for playing Pickford. Fan of Pickford tips?
Again, I don't want to put 50p in your jar, but no, not very much.
Why not? Tell us why.
Because I understand that he has more experience than Pope and Henderson, and he is more commanding on the pitch than those. But at some point, he's got to make the call that we need to give one of those two the experience in order to become that England goalkeeper, that leader, because they are better goalkeepers than Pickford. Pickford is a liability. He is better with his feet, and I understand that. He can pass the ball better, but he's also better at kicking people with his feet than the other two. So
you were watching me the other day when I saw the news. Admittedly, you joked and said that I was 24 hours late, which was true. But the fact that the TV games were announced, and we've actually got a BBC game on, Fulham versus Everton.
Isn't it just great that every match between now and the new year is going to be on telly? Well, just brilliant.
I was going to ask, do you know how many games are going to be shown on the BBC, or is it just a one-off, this particular...
Is it not one a week?
Well, I think the following week there's nothing being... The following week it's just BT or Sky Sports.
Yeah, maybe it's just the occasional one. I suppose there's one given to the Prime Video there, so it may depend whether there's probably one given to something else, and either BBC or Prime Video.
So you just said that. Hello, Gav P. You just said there that you're really excited that all the football's on TV. Have you got access to it? Have you?
Yeah, so I have a BT, Sky, and Amazon Prime. Oh, I don't know if I have Amazon Prime Video, actually. I don't think I do. I think I bought it last year as that one-off day pass or whatever.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Might have to... I won't pay for it for one game or something, but if it's a whole day, then I might. But yeah, I'll watch those ones online somewhere. But yeah, it's just good to have it on.
Do you actually watch every game then? No,
unfortunately. My other half isn't quite on board with me watching quite so many games.
Well,
I watch a couple a day, and then I'll watch the highlights for the others. But I tend to follow them as they're going. But no, I probably won't watch them all.
So how do you pick and choose? I mean, I take it as read that you'll be watching Chelsea, but how do you pick and choose the rest of the matches? Just like the key important ones from a real life perspective, or the ones from an FPL perspective?
I mean, if I'm in the house, then I'll watch it and it's on. There's nothing else to do. But my life probably comes first, even if unless it's Chelsea, then I make sure I'm in. But that Spurs City game again, I'll probably be in. But if that was 3:00 on Saturday and I was going out somewhere, it wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't say no, I can't go because that match is on. So if I'm in, I'll watch it. Apart from Chelsea, I'll make sure I'm in.
Do you find that watching the actual football itself helps you with your decisions when it comes to fantasy football? Because I did find that during Project Restart, when it was showing the football on TV, it was like I could actually see how a player, his body language, it really did help me make my own decisions. Is it the same for yourself?
Yeah, there are certain things that you just don't get from stats you get from an eye test. Like, one that I've been talking to people about recently is the Man City defence, and everyone going, Cancelo is a better option than Ruben Diaz. And I've been saying yeah and no, because people's like, oh, Diaz has had one shot all season. But if you actually watch the City games, you could see, it's a bit like Otamendi, like he has the potential to get 2 headers in a game because he is in the box. He is an aerial threat. It just hasn't happened to have worked for him yet. I mean, he scored twice last night, so he obviously does have it. So there are things that you can't get from stats that, again, and a lot of people, Salah overperforms his stats. But if you watch the games, you can just see that what he does, it just comes out of nowhere. So I think a combination of both stats and eye test, but I think the eye test for me rules overall.
Dan's saying that he thinks that and he's normally got his eye on the ball. He thinks it's only just the one BBC game, which is Fulham versus Everton. Brilliant. Well, it's all kicking off between Dan and Bilal. I mean, you're both welcome to come live on air and air your differences, because Bilal is saying this, I'm not wasting my time watching England play pointless matches, and Dan kicks in saying they're not really pointless when trying to build a team for these competitions. Boring, yes. Pointless, no. These are pointless matches.
Oh, Robertson starts.
Oh, he starts, does he, for Scotland? No. Is that a friendly?
Yeah, literally. I think it's a friendly against Israel. It's just come out, captain and starting.
I don't understand if it's a friendly, which I'm sure it is because they qualified for the Euro. Exactly. Is it for the Euros or the World Cup? It's for the Euros, isn't it?
Yeah, it's for the Euros.
Then I don't quite understand then why you would risk playing Robertson when he was potentially injured the other day. I don't get it.
I'm surprised Klopp hasn't had a word there, especially with how big an injury concern their whole defence is. I'm very surprised he starts.
Yeah, I'm not going to read out all the names, but David Marshall. I was trying to think of what his first name was. David.
Oh, yeah, Nations League. Sorry, not Euros. So the Nations League.
So what's the difference? What? I don't have a clue. Like I say, I don't follow any of this. It's Vincent saying it's time to order McDonald's. Okay, what happened with Germany last night? Do you know? I mean, the tourist nerd saying embarrassing.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't watch it. I mean, I don't quite know what happened because the Spain side wasn't exactly like incredible, but yeah, they just fell apart. I don't know who they started. Frankly, I mean, interesting to see the result, but I don't really care.
Paulie saying the England licensing game is pointless tonight. Southgate should be giving people run-outs, not risking the regulars. Yeah. I completely agree. But it's true though, isn't it, Tips? When it's just a friendly and stuff, you really should be playing. Specifically in this specific case, the players which don't really get the opportunity to start and just try and prove their worth.
So it's like, why? Like, I know I'm a Chelsea fan, but why is Kane starting this game, and why is someone like Tammy Abraham not playing, and why is Mings not starting over the likes of Maguire, who's played so many minutes? Why is Walker playing again? It just seems, if it was me, a game like this, you give some other people a chance. And why Pickford's in goal? God only knows.
I mean, I always say this to play devil's advocate. You could argue, well, it's the only time that these players get to play together in a competitive match, which, you know, it's a very good point. It's a very valid point. But Dan's
But
really...
if they're playing in one extra game now, is it really going to make any difference when it comes to June, July? I don't know. I mean, I can understand why Southgate wants them to keep playing together, but they're then going to go and play with other people for 6 months, so it's then going to forget, aren't they? So,
Paulie saying Grealish is playing again too, so Iceland going to kick him to death today. Dan making the point, it can't be pointless. Just give the younger players a chance. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when does the actual game kick off? 7:30, is it?
I think it's 7:45.
Is it on TV?
Yes, it should be.
As in ITV? My God.
Yeah, I think it'll be on BBC or ITV normally.
Oh, that's all right then. Dan, you'll be able to know straight away. Tips. Appreciate you coming. I'm going to go off now, but appreciate you coming on.
No problem. No, thanks for having me.
No, it's fine, anytime. Pop on whenever.
Will do.
Speak to you soon, dude.
Cheers, bud.
There's FPL tips there, Harry. Go follow him on Twitter. In fact, to be fair, with tips, he does put a lot of effort into his Twitter page. I did actually ask him if he actually does write all this stuff regarding the injuries and everything, and the answer is yeah. It's the simple answer. Here is bloody hell, he must be doing this. That's what I love about people that are multi-skilled. He does put a lot of effort into his Twitter account. So there we are, everybody. And on that note, I'm going to clear off. I'm going to clear off, and all you lot can watch the game, and I'm going to play Call of Duty. Actually, I'm going to see if it's stopped raining. Here we are, Dan. Big screen again. So I'm gonna go out and see if it's not raining. I'm just gonna stretch my legs for a bit and clear off. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna clear off. Cheers everybody for watching this chill stream. And yeah, like I said, if you do enjoy these types of streams, let me know. And I keep forgetting to say this. I just want to say a massive thank you to Alex Volo for creating the actual thumbnail. I absolutely love the specific thumbnail he's done. I think it's absolutely fantastic what he's done. And let's just quickly bring it up on screen if I can. But I can never find it because Twitter is absolutely useless. So I can't be bothered. So we're going to leave it there. So on that note, everybody, I'm going to clear off and leave you to it. So I'll speak to you soon. And appreciate it for the kind words. 10 out of 10 stream, yeah. It's not McDonald's time for me, I'm afraid. It's Chico time. Vincent says, drop a like before you go. And it's McDonald's time. It really isn't a McDonald's time. I'm not going to be eating anything at all. I can assure you. Hello, FPL Alex the Kid. See you later. Take it easy, everybody. Goodbye.